Champions are not born. They're forged. This is about turning the ordinary into undisputed. Available now. Ade Gman, brought to you by Undisputed.
Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. All right, before we get going, I just want to quickly shout out the guy that does my newsletter. His name's Phil. He's been subbed to the channel for years. And he must have reached out to me about 5-6 months ago with the idea of this newsletter. And I was like, why? And then he spoke to me about the benefits, you guys being up to date with what I'm doing, where I am. And so far, so good. I mean, you guys are loving it. I think over 1,500 of you have signed up, which is crazy. But yeah, look, if you haven't, sign up. The link is in the description. Again, over 1,500 have signed up. They're loving it. I'm loving it. But yeah, big ups to you, Phil. Thank you so much for reaching out. And thank you so much for helping me get this started. Remember the live I am doing September 4th, King's Place. We've now moved to a bigger room. I think it was a room of around 250. We've now gone to a room of nearly 500. So more tickets are available. The link to the tickets is in the description. Again, that's September 4th, King's Place, London. Should be fun. All right, let's have a look and see what there is to talk about today. Let's start here. Sebastian Fendor to defend against Keith Furman, October 18th. The WBC are, I don't know, I've got to be careful with my words here, but they clearly just do whatever they want to do, right? Fuck your mandatory, fuck who's next in line, pardon my French. We will just pick whatever we want to pick. I mean, how on earth, I mean, look, they just did Manny Pacquiao Barrios, so, but how on earth can you justify Keith Furman jumping the queue to fight Sebastian Fendor? Keith Furman has had, what, 2 fights in 6 years or something like that? His last fight was against Brock Jarvis in Australia. Brock Jarvis is not a 154-pounder. Yes, Keith Furman beat him up. Okay, cool. But you've got to have a couple more. Like, why are you jumping the queue? Like the 150, someone asked me the other day, what's the deepest division? I said, 154. So deep. From 1 to 15 is absolutely stacked with talent, unbeaten fighters, dangerous fighters, named fighters. There's no reason or excuse for a former 147 champ to just jump the queue like this and everyone to be, okay, that's fine. This is poor from the WBC, but I guess we shouldn't be shocked. It's not just the WBC, all of them would do this. So this isn't a straight dig at the WBC, all of them are like this, which is why I always talk about a world governing body for things like this. Because if you are that next man up, say you are ranked number 1, number 2, why are you not getting your shot? So you've done everything you could for the WBC. You've done the WBC silver title, the WBC international title. You've paid your sanctioning fees. All of a sudden, oh, 1 second, Keith Furman gets to jump on you because his name's Keith Furman and he was a very good champion several years ago. Same thing with Pacquiao and Barrios. Honestly, it's just, I don't know, man. It is what it is. I spoke about this the other day and I was a bit maybe disparaging of it. Tony Yoka versus AJ, or AJ versus Tony Yoka, potentially happening in Ghana. It was right at the end of the video and it just popped up. Now I feel there's a bit more juice to it because Frank Smith, we know, is in Ghana. I didn't know Freddie Cunningham was in Ghana as well. I think Freddie or Frank, I don't know which one it was, but on their Instagram, they kind of took a video of a stadium. I don't know what stadium that was. And either they're teasing or they're sightseeing. I think they're teasing. I think there's something in the works here. And although I was like, nah, man, I want to see AJ in Nigeria. Look, I just want to see AJ fight. And if you're going to fight in Africa, Ghanaians are my brothers. It's the next door neighbor to Nigeria. I'm all good. Honestly, I'm all good. Look, as much as I scream for chaos in Lagos, if a fight can't happen in Nigeria, the next best thing for me is Ghana. I will 1000% be there because I've been championing a big fight in Africa. I've been screaming about AJ versus Wilder in fucking Nigeria for years, and then it switched to AJ versus Bukoli. If it's AJ Yoka, so be it. But look, that looks like it's got a bit of legs to it, which I guess does shut down the AJ Jake Paul thing, which again, you boxing purists will be very, very happy about. But yeah, that looks like it could be a serious thing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks or months. Remember, AJ was in Ghana for that card that Amir Khan put on. When would that have been? About 2 months ago. I know the president of Ghana's son, who I've spoken to before, is very, very fixated and in love with the sport of boxing. And so there could be some backing there. It will obviously help with tourism, so it's an easy sell. So look, watch this space, but AJ could be fighting in Ghana. And I'm not mad at it at all. Alexander Usyk, Moses Itauma, a win-win. Yeah, this is a question that I put to Ben Davison. This was at the the media public workout yesterday. And I think Ben said that he would fight anyone, Moses. So I said, what about Usyk? Thinking he will shut that down. He was like, why not? It's a win-win. You beat Usyk. I mean, you're top of the tree. You lose to Usyk, it's Usyk. So that's kind of what he meant. But let's park Usyk for a second and let's concentrate to matters at hand. And that's Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte. And guys, I got a feeling. Now look, I don't know, man. There's something, you know, I always say this. I said this about Dubois. There's something in the air, and all of a sudden Dubois got put on his backside. So sometimes you've always got to go with what you first thought when a fight was made. But when a fighter shows you something different, i.e. Dillian Whyte, and just his mood, his physique, you're like, have I got this wrong? Like, is this too soon a jump? Again, the only comparison in recent years that I can make, especially from fighters over here, is the David Haye, Carl Thompson thing. Because I remember David Haye was flying. And people were like, David Haye could be anyone, all this kind. And then he ran into Carl Thompson, who was a grizzly fox, if you like. And it was just too much. Like, David Haye was lighting up Carl Thompson early, and then the gas tank just went drum, and the punch resistance just went drum, and Carl Thompson saw that, and he got stronger and stronger, and in the end, obviously stopped David Haye. Is Dillian Whyte Carl Thompson? Is Moses Itauma David Haye? I don't know, man. I just feel like we might have a bit of a war here. I really do. And I'm not mad at it. Honestly, I'm not mad at it, because I said, and I've said this a few times, if we do have a war, this will answer, for me, so many questions I have about Moses Itauma. Again, we've not seen Moses go past 2 rounds in his last 7 or 8 fights, I think it is. That's not his fault. That's just him knocking everyone out. But then you do want to see the gas tank, right? You want to see it. These are like real questions. We want to see the gas tank. Who doesn't want to see if someone can look as good as he does in round 2? Can he look that good in round 8 or 9? You want to see it, right? Because those slick boxers, and he is very much that, those guys that have really good hand speed, really good foot speed, that will start to go down. There's no two ways about it. The only thing that helps Moses is that he's so young. So he'll have a better gas tank than most. He's not taking any damage. So these things will help Moses, but ultimately these are things that we want to see. And we want to see Dillian Whyte have it. But I think Dillian Whyte, although he has been, you know, I'm trying to think of the right word, a bit pissed off with people here. Again, I don't mind that. I almost want to see Dillian Whyte put on a good performance. Like, I almost want to see him rewind the clock a little bit and show there is still life in him, because I think he's a great fixture to the heavyweight division. And I said this to him. I said, dude, let's be honest, you can fight Derek Chisora. There's the Joseph Parker fight because of the history. There's an AJ fight. That's never going to go away. So that only happens if he looks good on Saturday night. So look, if both look good, it's a win-win for boxing. But I do think that we might be surprised as to how this fight plays out. When this fight was first announced, everyone was like, come man, Dillian's done. That's what the talk was. Don't change your opinions now. Now people are seeing Dillian, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. He looks like he's talking like a completely different person. I don't know if that's just maturity. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's because he's now married. He mentioned that. I didn't know that. Those things will mature you a little bit. So I think it's a different Dillian Whyte. And this is why Dillian can't be upset with people for picking Moses, because we didn't know all these things. You can only go on what you saw last time out. And last time out was Ebenezer Tete. That's all you can go on. That's all we get. We're not privy to the fight camp. We're not privy to be in Portugal. Now, if someone was over there and he let the cameras in and we saw him, we're like, well, 1 second. But we didn't know that. So we can only go on what we've have seen recently. And what we saw recently was Ebenezer Tete. We might have got a bit more of an insight if we saw the Joe Joyce fight. We didn't see that. So again, we can only go on what we've seen, and then we can only go on what we've seen recently with Moses. And Moses' last 2 fights have been just outrageously good. Dempsey McKean and Mike Balogun. They're not Dillian Whyte though. They're not Dillian Whyte. Like, they were never a top heavyweight. Do you know what I mean? They were never at that top table. Dillian Whyte most certainly was. There was a time where Dillian Whyte was a top 5 heavyweight. There was a time. If you cast your minds back, there was a time when Dillian Whyte was a top 5 heavyweight. Dempsey McKean and Mike Balogun have never been top 20 heavyweights as far as I'm concerned. So it's going to be interesting. Presser is in 4 or 5 hours, and then weigh in, and then showtime. So we'll see. We'll see if they're going to bite at each other a little bit at the presser. We didn't really get much at the face-off. Obviously, there was no interaction yesterday at the media workout. So it'll be interesting to see if they bite at each other a little bit. But yeah, I feel that this could be... And by the way, when I say war, I don't necessarily mean a 12-round fucking Chisora White type thing. I mean, it could be a war for like 3 or 4 rounds. It could be, to the point where someone gets flatlined. Could be that. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that. All right, what else have we got here? Let's have a look and see if there are any more stories. David Adelaide staying in his lane, head of date with Filip Hrgović. Yeah, this is opportunity knocks, man. This is opportunity knocks. I still feel like there is some question marks with Hrgović. I'm not quite sure. He's now 33. When I think of Hrgović, I cast my mind back to the Hrgović that turned up for sparring for David Haye to help him get ready for Tyson Fury, and him and fucking Wilder were just going at it. And I don't think he's ever lived up to that. I think everyone thought, oh my God, who is that guy? Who is that new Vitaly Klitschko looking dude? And that hasn't really happened. I do think with Abel Sanchez, he's now got a trainer that will work on the gas tank, will work on the power. He's a beautiful boxer, but I do question everything else. Is it too late, this link up with Abel? No, I don't think so. I think he's got the boxing brain in order to kind of take on the advice and change, as does, I think, David Adelaide. I think David Adelaide's got that as well. And I think Adelaide needed an Adam Booth type, because what Adelaide has is speed and punch power. And we know with Booth fighters, they've always had good speed and punch power. David Haye and George Groves are the 2 biggest, right? So I think it's a good one. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a fight that needs to be spoken about a bit more. I'm surprised it's not co-main event. But then again, Nick Ball, world title fight. I guess Sam Goodman does jump it. All right. Sam Jones joins Team Daniel Dubois in advisory role. Basically, that means he's his manager. That's gonna get it right here. I love this link up. I love it. Daniel Dubois needs a spokesperson, doesn't he? And Sam's more than that, by the way. I think Sam will help him with matchmaking, all that. He'll kind of be sort of overseer of everything. Obviously, there's Frank Warren, but I think Sam will be looking at a lot of other stuff. Daniel needs it, because Daniel just needs someone that will fight his corner, and Sam will do it better than most. I think Sam's one of the best in the business. I really do. I actually think Sam, eventually, if he wanted to, could almost get his own broadcast still. I think that he's that good. I think he's that good at speaking. He'll sell his fighters as though they're the best thing since sliced bread. He'll match them correctly. He'll get them opportunities. He'll build them correctly. So I think that's a good matchup. I think it works. This AJ Ward thing. I say this, it's not even a thing, is it? But Ward called out AJ. AJ responded. Americans are so disrespectful to AJ. It's crazy. Because it's not, and by the way, when I say Americans, I don't mean the fighters. Call out who you want to call out. Like, I'm not going to ever say Ward's one of the greatest fighters of all time. Call out who you want to. It's the media. Like, some of the talk is crazy. Like, I saw Chris Cyborg the other day say something like, Andre Ward's a better athlete than AJ. I was like, has everyone gone mad here? Better athlete than AJ. Better boxer, cool. Even though, AJ is an Olympic gold medalist as well, but okay, better boxer, fine, right? Better boxing brain, okay. Those things are quite difficult to quantify, but fine. Better athlete. Stop it. And then I saw like Fight Hub put up a poll. Who would win? And I think I had AJ by 56%. 44% of people genuinely think that a 41-year-old who's not fought for 8 years and is really a career super middleweight is going to go up to heavyweight and beat AJ. Andre Ward isn't Roy Jones Jr., AJ isn't John Ruiz. We'll end on that. Peace.
Champions are not born. They're forged. This is about turning the ordinary into undisputed. Available now.